So hey Ed, it's Pat here. Just gonna walk around the shop and kind of explain a few things here. So these are silver tanks, silver plating, and we got some copper tanks over here. That is for copper, basically electrotyping, which I can show you. We've got a cleaning tank here. These are hot tanks for gold plating. That's the cleaner. This is just a hot water for rinse. And this is the gold in solution. This is the, I think they call it, that's a rectifier or a rheostat, but that's needed for gold plating. And that's part of that process. In here is the spinning lathe, so they're pretty much commercial grade, big motors on them. So there's two of them. And there's a box that Dad made. There's actually a filter on the far right hand side. He made those covers there. There's a fan motor in the back there to collect some of the dust. In here you have the bigger of the two spinning lathes. So there's that's the bigger one, and then we've got the smaller one over there. I'll just walk up to it. So it looks big, but it really isn't all that big. That was made for mostly the smaller items, the chalices, that sort of thing. And then there's a big drive system. So this yellow belt here is driven. It's driven off of a motor, and then there's an idler system. I'll get out of the light there. Up top, it could probably be made to if you wanted to just run the one lathe. The reason why there's the two, obviously, is because he could run both lathes at different times. But again, you may be just interested in the one or the both. Here's some chucks, spinning chucks. So that's what goes on to the lathe, and you spin over top of it. Just kind of give you an idea. There's some cremation urns that Dad was working on. So you see, this is basically the main vessel, and that was made on this chuck here. So if I put that on there, and you can see how that fits on, and that was from flat sheet aluminum that was cut into a circle, and it was spun on the bigger lathe into this form. And the smaller one was done on the smaller lathes. So as you put this together, you can kind of get the idea of, whoops, that fell, but how that goes together. So kind of neat. Not a whole lot of this being done in Canada right now, by the way. This is a cutting brake. So if you see, there's a big blade in the back there, and as you press it down, it's fairly sharp. That cuts sheet metal, aluminum, brass, copper into squares. And then the unique device here is you put the square in here, and then you turn this around, and you get a circle out of sheet. So here's brass, so that would have gone on there, and you measure it. As you spin it around, it cuts off the excess, and you get a nice perfect circle for spinning. So here's something. So these are some things that he was working on. So these are floor flanges that were made. These things, I believe, are for tables, like restaurant tables, that sort of thing. And there's some of the circles. They're a little bit rusty, but those were made from. So that's just mild steel. In the back here, this is kind of the electrotyping. So here is it's basically pure beeswax, and it's melted in a double boiler, and you take and you get something like this afterwards, after you put it in the copper tank for a day or so, and then it's cut out. You can tin the back there. You get things like Bible covers. So this actually happens to be gold. These are gold plated ones, by the way. Where are we? Yeah, there they are. So at one time, that was just brass. So these go on top or in front of Bible covers, the Bibles. And then there's a center section. I think it's that one there, but kind of get the idea. It's kind of neat. It's an old process. There's another bigger circle cutter. Lots of raw materials and things that he had kind of in WIP, we call it, a work in process. Got a whole bunch of aluminum tubes, sheet aluminum, sheet copper, sheet brass. Here's some aluminum. And then here is all the chucks or forms that of things that were done through the years. So there are many. And again, that just kind of trying to give you an idea of you know, what's here. What, you know, what there's a lots of stuff here. There's some more brass and aluminum and all thread rod, that sort of thing. So anyways, that's kind of it in a nutshell. So I would have contacted you already and getting you to take a look at this this video. I'm going to put this on YouTube. There are lots of forms for things that he's made through the years. So crosses. Yeah, there's another thing. It's kind of piercing saw. So here is you cut stuff out of make patterns. And it's like it's a coping saw. And you cut brass and copper, crosses, that sort of thing. Kind of neat stuff. But anyways, we can discuss this more, and I'm going to sign off now, and we'll talk to you later.